guys. Hello, everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. We have something here today I wanted to show you. It just came in the mail. I haven't opened it yet. I have no idea what it looks like inside. I have no idea how they shipped it. I have no idea how they packed it. I have no idea anything about this. Except to tell you what it is. It is the video card, or a video card, not the exact one that I have on it, but pretty much all you're going to get for the amount of money I could spend. Because as you may know, I'm a Mac user, and as anybody who uses a Mac can tell you, they packed this in hard, didn't they? We don't do it because it's easy, we do it because it's hard. Yeah, oh my God. Alright, so it is a video card. And I'm gonna take a look at this. Obviously it's an anti-static bag, the cables, see if there's any kind of instructions. Ooh, I don't see anything. I'm going to use this box for my other card. So this is the two cables. Now, let's just look at this real quick here. We have, the Macs are crazy. They have these little micro connectors. This one here uses a 4 and an 8, a 6 and an 8 on this side. Okay, not a problem there. In fact, I already have a 6, so I don't need to plug in the other 6. Okay. This is a very large board. Now, let's see if this doesn't have a button on it. Why I ask if it has a button on it? Because sometimes it may have a BIOS set for one computer, and you might want to change it if you get a Windows machine to another. And I don't see one on this one. Another reason I asked is sometimes, actually it does look like it has a little switch. Yeah, it has a little slide switch right here. Right here. Slicks between the different ROMs. It's clean, it looks good, it's big, real big, yeah, it's big, it's a big card. It's got your USB, your micro display port, it has your HDMI connector, it has your S3G or DVI connector, it's got 3 fans on it, it's called a WindForce card. And like I said, now I know which ROM it is. So if we're lucky, put this in, no problems. We'll find out. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pause this video while I do that. So I plug this in, and then hopefully when I come back, I'll be ready for the testing and unveiling of this card. Now I got the new card booted up. I want to show you the old card. And talk a little about this card. This is a PC generic card, and it's got PC ROM in it. This is made by Sapphire, whereas the other card was made by Gigabyte. Okay, and Sapphire also, apparently the same kind of bracket is used also on some NVIDIA cards as well. You'll see it has a full-size HDMI port, full-size display port, 2 DVI connectors. You got DVI-I, which means it does analog and digital, and D for digital only. It has a switchable ROM. It can be overclocked. That's what this button's for on this one. There's a button you can press if it was on a PC to let you select between the 2 boot options. Now, since this was not flash for Mac, it couldn't show any kind of a boot screen until the car was actually started. And that will be after the Mac has loaded the driver. So when things go wrong with the computer, well, guess what? We ain't going anywhere, honey. That's what happens. No boot ROM, no boot chip, no way to start the machine, nothing. And so we got this car that we have now because of the fact is that an aftermarket third party has flashed it to properly work with my Mac. Now, I tried to flash the card once myself, and I made a friggin' mess and bricked the card. So instead of risking it again, I decided that I would buy a new card with pre-flash from the factory. That way, no tears, no sadness, no nothing. All set to go. So now, let me show you its features. Okay, we're going to start with the most obvious thing. Yeah, the screen's a little dirty. I am going to start the computer up like a normal startup sequence. And you'll see where this card comes in handy. Now, like I said, I'm going to start the computer up normally so you can see what it's going to do. And then I'll show you another feature on this card that makes it... Yeah, I know, the screen's over. There you go. First thing you'll notice is the screen turns gray. Okay, that's normal. That means that the card is booted. There's the Apple logo right there on the screen. You can see the little progress bar as it starts up. It's where the ROM comes in handy, because now you can see what has not been shown before. Okay? And we know it works in both HDMI and we know it works in DisplayPort. Right now we're on DisplayPort. Somebody said that this thing, once you go to Mojave, it doesn't look like certain type of 4K connections. Well, right now it seems to be working fine over here, and that's what counts. Okay, so now it's finishing with loading. That's handed off to the driver that loads into the system. Okay, so that's a standard restart. Now let me show you a restart when you can do it. One of the reasons why this is a nice feature. If you hold down the Apple key, or the Option key, which in my case is the Alt key, okay, and I hold down the Alt key. This is a PC keyboard, what do you want? Alright, hold down the Option key, or Alt key. You get the chime, just hold it down, just keep holding it down. There we go. Here you got these nice little icons on the screen. And these are handy because if you ever want to get into a different operating system, you can switch over to them. For example, can I go back into Snow Leopard? I don't know if this thing boots Snow Leopard on this cart. Let's try it. Alright, so I'm going to boot in the Snow Leopard. Now, Snow Leopard is the oldest operating system on this computer. But we're going to see if it works Snow Leopard, or if it's just going to use maybe not for advanced graphics or anything, but I am kind of curious. Yeah, we'll work in the Snow Leopard. It says it goes back to 8.3. I think Snow Leopard's a bit older than that. So I'm going to see what happens. What's going to happen is one of two things. One, because there is no driver for it, it might default to some type of a async driver, or in this case, crash and burn. Crash and burn is about right. Yeah, that's about right. Alright, so just hold on this button here. Restart. Let's start normally. So, right, so Snow Leopard doesn't work on this. Okay? But anyway, the point I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to get at is, it is working, and that's the important thing. It's the same technology, the same chipset, same memory, same everything that my existing card has. So for that reason, it should make it easier to now go ahead and install Mojave. Now, originally I was going to install Mojave on the second partition, or on the second drive. Also, I want to put the Windows 10 boot camp back in here. Ooh, good idea. Except where are you going to put it? You got a hard drive sitting in there right now. I know. Yes, I know. I gotta figure out which drives are which. Oh, you know where your Windows 10 would have been? Right, where the other one's sitting. Sierra 2. Right, with Sierra 2 sitting. Or Sierra. High Sierra. So, either way, I'm gonna have to install Mojave on the main partition anyway. Okay. So, that's that. So now the point here is it's working. Okay? See? And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, as much as I regret it, but at least now I'll be able to see if there's a problem. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install the Mojave installer. And this is a couple stage process. So I'm going to install Mojave. And, let's see, is it loading? Did you double click on it? Did just now? Okay. So, this is going to take a while to install. When I come back, we'll see what Mojave does. At least like this time, it should work fine. Mojave is going to create the Apple file system, APFS, which means that it's really ideally suitable for other kind of memory situation, agree to terms, blah. Alright, so and then we're going to install agree to terms, yes. High Sierra 2 will be installed on disk. How about on High Sierra? Yeah, leave High Sierra 2 alone. Okay, I gotta log in here first. Okay. You will need to administrate a password on find a new helper tool. Okay. High Sierra. Now, High Sierra is good because, 1, it's already got the APFS already installed. 2, it's already a flash drive. 3, it's not actually the main work system. So if this thing gets bombed out, I don't basically cry. Okay? That's a good point. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Right, exactly. So right now it's going to install it on High Sierra, and they're going to have to reboot it, and you're going to install some firmware. So once it's done installing it, it's going to tell me that I need to reboot the computer. And when I do that, it should be all set to go. And because we didn't reinstall it on top of the existing work system, we can keep this partition unscathed. Or at least for now, until we can determine if Mojave is working correctly. Once Mojave is working correctly, then we'll upgrade to Catalina, which will be the next step. But that's going to be using something called DOS Dude's Catalina patch. That's because this computer officially can only handle up to Mojave. Okay? So I don't really see anything going nowhere than Mojave or Catalina, but Oh well, we'll see how this works and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll come back in a little bit. We'll see how that works. As this is going to take a little bit of time to install, and then I gotta reboot and start. Well, I might as well just talk to you guys at the same time. Okay. Okay. Your computer will restart automatically in 12 seconds. Your computer may start more than once during the operation, so I can click restart. Okay. And so we're gonna. If we're lucky, maybe it recognizes the firmware and it will actually automatically will not need to go through and click on the firmware boot. But don't expect it because I've already ran into problems with this before. So right now, it is actually booting. It's actually going to load. I think it starts a firmware program. I really can see it's booting better. Good right there. Right now on the screen, you can see a little thermometer. See, now that's the other reason why this is important because I could never see that because about this the other card you boot blind, you can't see it. So every time you go into the other card, I may have been sitting at this prompt, twiddling my thumbs, going, "Where the hell was my operating system?" Come thinking this crashed, and it's not. It might have been stuck on the thermometer and not knowing that it was working. So this is why I needed this card because then I can also hold on the Alt key and switch different operating systems. Okay, as like I said, this is I'm just putting this. I'm gonna make this the Mojave partition. I do want to try installing Catalina. I do want to put Catalina on here also. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put it as a separate partition, separate drive, because I do have USB ports and stuff, and I could plug it into another system. I could probably put Catalina on another computer, and I definitely do want to put always the boot camp back in. So now it's actually in the process of booting the system. I think it has to flash the firmware. I'm not sure. The screen just went blank. The screen went blank. It's restarting. It said it may restart multiple times. So right now we kind of got it went to a smoky color. Okay, now it says installing on High Sierra, about 35 minutes remaining. So it's got a ways to go. Okay, now that we are in Mojave. I also have Catalina installed on this computer as well. And so let me show you how it works when we restart the computer, just so you understand this. One of the things I ran into repeatedly is the constant asking for passwords, particularly under Catalina. Right now we're talking about the video card primarily. However, I might as well bring up the issue about the other thing comparing High Sierra versus Mojave versus Catalina. Mojave is the last of the ones that support 32-bit apps, and so if you have any legacy hardware on your computer and doesn't have a 64-bit driver, you're screwed. Okay, this also is on an SSD, so it boots pretty quick. Catalina, which we also have, is on an HD and not an SSD. But so it's this Mojave is the last one that supports the power of an SSD. So now that's we're in here. Now, one of the questions we had a question about is what about the World of Warcraft? And yeah, I wonder, since we put through we installed Catalina as well, specifically for World of Warcraft, is this going to work? And yeah, see it says allow. I'm going to hit allow, so I'm going to hit OK. World of Warcraft will let you see each kind of permissions all over Catalina. They're like all over the place. Okay, so you get stuck setting up using microphones, permissions all over the place. How does this work in Catalina? I know we're talking about the video card particularly, but well, right now we're in Mojave right now. Okay, 10 by 14.6. Okay, this is the specs on this computer. A 2.66 gigahertz quad core Xenon Mojave graphics card serial number. Yeah, I don't know. Some people really give a fuck about the serial numbers. So the point is I haven't tried playing World of Warcraft under Mojave yet. But obviously I've got to refresh the screen anyway. I noticed that sometimes you see the screen will glitch out a little bit. I think that's a driver issue because the same card on the High Sierra doesn't do that. So I think that there's a driver glitchy problem because under High Sierra the graphics card doesn't glitch as much. Catalina does a little bit. So I'm just going to just doing the updates on this version because I don't know what version it's using. So it's installing the updates now. So to get to the main point of this is that with Mojave and this card, it's nice because I showed you how you can select the operating systems you want to go into. It works fine on Mojave. It works fine on Catalina. I'm using DOS Dudes Patcher to install Catalina. You might be able to install other operating systems too. Might be able to install Big Sur. But when the computer had only 16 gigabytes of RAM, this computer started out originally as an entry level 2009 Mac Pro. And then we later installed the firmware update. And it's working fine. So really, really cool to see how that works right now. So, but either way, it is what it is. So, just really interesting things having to do with the different operating systems. But since this is a video card, we won't talk about the video card specifically. I'll compare operating systems later. And the main thing is that both Catalina with the DOS Dude patch and the Mojave, which is what this last version technically that this computer supports out of the box, are fine. That's the only thing you need to know if you are going to get the EFI boot ROM. Get a video card if you. There are people that like AMD. There are people who like NVIDIA. Unfortunately, guys, the NVIDIA cards have a lot of problems. NVIDIA web CUDA drivers are not supported anymore, anything higher than High Sierra. So you're not going to be able to do a lot of things with an NVIDIA card on your Mac. If you're going to go through an NVIDIA card, you're going to be dealing with that problem of, gotta get the web drivers, but you can't get the web drivers because High Sierra is the last one that had the web drivers for NVIDIA. If you want to continue to support NVIDIA, then you're going to have to find somebody who has released a third-party NVIDIA drivers. Even NVIDIA themselves are not releasing NVIDIA drivers for Mac after High Sierra. So you're going to be stuck. Okay? Just be aware of that. Now, on the other hand, if you are using Radeon, like R9 280, which mine is, you're all set because you're going to get it to work right out of the box because that supports Metal. Metal is what you need. Metal is the operating system that makes this thing sing. So once you have a Radeon card in there, you'll be fine. New or used? Let's just talk about this. Right now, the chip shortage is going on. Your choices within reasonable price is used. When you buy used, make sure that the seller has a return guarantee. If something goes wrong with the card, if the card fails, if the memory is gone bad, if the original person that had it before them was into heavy mining, you're going to run into problems with heatsink grease being turned into glop. You're going to need to change the heatsink grease. If the person, make sure the person did a good flash, make sure it works. That's another thing that can kill you. If you got a bad flash where only works on one monitor and it doesn't work in the other ports, then you're screwed too. So make sure to test all that. As nobody wants to make that mistake. Nobody wants to make that mistake. So make sure that the card you choose works. The frame rates, we'll test that in a video on this card. I'm getting from World of Warcraft, even on high settings, ultra settings, I'm getting 60 frames per second at 720p. Which is fine. That's just the way I play it because we stream on YouTube and Twitch and we can't go any higher than 720p because of our home internet. So it doesn't matter if the game can go 1080p, and it does. But since we stream on YouTube, we can only stream in 720p because of our internet. It's kind of stupid to try to show a game at higher resolutions and then try to reduce your stream down to lower resolutions. So reducing 720p down to something that fits in the screen with me and the cat and the camera and everything else, which is not much of a change. It's really not a problem. It really isn't. It just takes a time period to do. But anyway, I'm going to be doing some tests on the Mojave tonight because I didn't test Mojave. I tested the other networks. I didn't test Mojave. So Mojave, I tested with El Capitan. El Capitan works. I tested it with I have not tested it with this product yet. So I want to test this and see how this works with High Sierra. But from what I'm testing of Mojave, the video card works fine. So that's all I can tell you. But that's that. So anyway, that's enough to start with. I hope this helps you find a good card that will meet your needs. Look for the bargains. Look for the bargains. It doesn't have to be new because you can't afford to anyway. Just look for the bargains. They're out there. There are people that are looking for bargains right now. Okay? Definitely looking for bargains. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.